Origin on me.
Lois Lane. Welcome to Comics League Dark. I am Jared. I am here with Robert and JJheat. What's up, gentlemen?
Flame on! Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight?
And I was about to say, if you didn't start, I was going to say, not in this version, she isn't.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're finally, we can finally review Superman by James Gunn. And let me tell you this. I'm going to start off by saying this. It's not my favorite Superman movie. Man of Steel is still there. It's my number 2. I'll give it my number 2 space. But for what it had to do, I think it achieved it. What do you guys think?
I completely agree. In fact, yeah, when Gunn was talking about, he was talking about the box office, but when he made the comparison to Iron Man, I think that was actually more on the nose than he thought.
Well, yeah, and it's like the other thing to advantage is that this movie is like getting gassed up by the public. So it's like, even if it gets slightly below like expectations, he can just say, hey, if this keeps up, we will get to that point. You just got to give it time. The people are interested.
Exactly.
Anyway, so JJheat, your general thoughts, we'll get into more specifics. By the way, real quick, because there are some people that won't pay attention to the title or the bar down there. Spoiler. Go, JJheat.
Spoiler.
All right, we'll give you a chance to Robert, can you mute yourself for like a few seconds?
Yeah.
Thank you.
General thoughts first.
Okay, general thoughts first. Yes, I do have. Now, this is a solid 7 out of 10 at best. It's good.
That's exactly my rating as well, JJheat.
I saw a solid 7, can't go wrong. The Justice Gang kind of acting as a stand-in for the elite with like what happened to Truth, Justice, and the American Way. It's everything, even down to the kaiju monster. The elements are there. The Ultraman reveal, I won't spoil it yet because we haven't gone to that sector, but you could see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah. I was about to say, the minute they walk into the fortress, I go, oh, okay, I see what they're doing there. Yep.
We're just waiting for the reveal at that point. But, and Luthor being the Obadiah Stane, and main villain, you have to be really careful with Luthor because if you do too much at once, you're not going to have as much buildup, especially when he actually puts on the Kryptonian power suit. Basically, I feel like they went for a Christopher Reeves vibe, where with Luthor, he's kind of like this big overarching scheme, and with the techno stuff with the foreign nations, that's not what he benefits from that. But it still ties to his, for lack of a better term, hate boner for Superman. And I'm like, I get what you're trying to do, but you could have balanced it a bit better.
Okay. Now,
but other than that, no notes.
Now let's talk about what we didn't like first, because I want to get the negative out of the way first, so we can spend the rest of the stream talking about the positive. Negative. My chief problem. Spoiler. I don't like it that Jor-El and Lara. I'm just granted they could retcon this out, but I'm saying for the purpose of this one movie, this one story, I don't like that Lara and Jor-El sent Clark to Earth to basically create a harem and keep the Kryptonian lineage alive. I'm like, what?
Now sending Clark to I don't want you to get demonetized, Jared, but to procreate, so to speak. That's practical, that's scientific even. But don't try to make Kryptonians Saiyans or conquerors. It just doesn't work.
Agreed. Or Viltrumites or whatever.
Essentially.
Stand-in just as far as I'm sitting here.
Essentially. Now, again, I'm going. Cameron hopes the video is fake. They could reveal that later. It's just I'm approaching this right now with the story that was told in the movie. Because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to commit to this. If they retcon it later, I'll add a point to this movie's score.
Yeah.
Because so far, it's and the last point, and this is a pretty common criticism that I see amongst the legitimate, like the people that aren't hating on it for hating's sake. The problem with, and this is a James Gunn problem. A lot of the really emotional scenes all of a sudden are like downplayed by jokes that go on for way too long or are repeated over and over again.
Not as bad as some of his other movies, but I agree.
To a degree.
And the punk rock aesthetic is kind of a poor choice. They set it up in the Clark and Lois scenes, but the punk rock was just a poor choice, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's like with the crypto stuff. Now I know they explained why crypto is so unruly, and it works. The problem is the joke kept going. Like every time Clark showed up, crypto was. I'm like, can you do it? Do you not do it once?
The only time it worked was, and besides the reveal, was the payoff in the climax. Yeah, but even then, exactly. They didn't make it clear that was the payoff.
Yeah, exactly.
They could have set it up better, especially when, because crypto does play a role in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, the comic. We don't know about the movie yet, but strictly the comic. So Kara spoils them. We get it. That's obvious.
Now, Robert, I'm going to start with you because you are the most positive about this movie. What are the things you didn't like about the movie? Again, we're starting with the negatives first because I want to spend most of the stream talking about how awesome this movie was.
Well, that harem reveal is the big one. And it still bothers me because, okay, the way it worked out was he had one half of a message he knew for so long. It was damaged, so he never heard the second half. But when you hear the second half, it sounds so tonally different from the first half. It to the point where it just doesn't make sense. But that was my biggest problem of all throughout all of the movie. For the most part, I didn't have that much to dislike beyond that.
And that's great. I love it. I love that for your brother. And again, short of that Kryptonian scene, the rest of the stuff is relatively minor. So that's why that's why I gives me a 7 out of 10 because the parents thing is not like bad, but it's not like end of the world. It'd be one thing if they actually had Clark turn into a Homelander at the end of this movie. Then I'm like, no, absolutely not. But anyway.
Exactly. And anything else, like JJheat said, we're nitpicks. That's why mine's an 8.9. Okay. It's a little bit away from a 9, but it's not there because a lot of it is because of that parent thing.
Exactly. JJheat, your thoughts on what about the movie?
To add on what Robert said briefly, it felt like it reminded me of the Cadmus arc where Luthor ran for president specifically to goad Superman and make him look bad. Now, again, if we were adapting that subplot for Cadmus or Luthor for president, this would be right out of Candy Valley. This would be solid. But a petty international conflict, Clark for 3 years in the DCU as a humanitarian. So you literally orchestrated an international incident just hoping Clark takes the bait. That is the foundation of your entire plan.
And NJ, if we're going off of the video itself, evil. Because they even said conquer it. Now, again, until that is retconned in some way, that's the way that the story goes.
It kind of reminded me of My Adventures of Superman, really.
Exactly. That was my point. And that's why I'm like, I don't like this, because why all of a sudden are the Kryptonians being portrayed as evil?
And again, having be also Jor-El and Lara being portrayed. Having the other Kryptonians, that would have been fine. But keep Superman's parents the exceptions.
Well, here's what I would have done, Robert. Are you ready? Here's what I would have done. Here's how I would adjust this whole thing. If I could do Superman 2 and I could undo this, I would, the message is authentic. Hear me out on this. It's under duress, the second half, because General Zod took over Krypton and is basically saying, no, you're going to tell your son to conquer the world.
There's that, or it could have been Brainiac who hacked it, but Lex doesn't know that, obviously.
That's why. But
I would say Brainiac for a third film, but I get the idea.
Yeah, the reason I said I went with the whole Zod thing is because here's the thing. That way you don't invalidate, because here's the problem with retconning the story. the message, because that message was so like central to the story of the movie. If you retcon that, it was like, oh, it wasn't really that. It kind of undermines the story of this movie.
I saw someone make a good point, actually. You could have it be, if it was Brainiac that altered it, then you could have it be, though, they didn't tell him to help protect the world. They just told him, don't let people know. Hide. So you could keep a similar message where something that goes against what he read it as, but you downplay the evilness.
But the problem with that, Robert, is that if that were the thing, we would have gotten some hints that Brainiac existed.
Well, that's true. That's true. But here's the other thing is Brainiac could have been banking on the message being complete, and Superman would have been like, okay, I got to be a conqueror. But he didn't bank on the message getting chopped.
We'll see. But now that's relatively the only things that like I really didn't like about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's start with what we did like, because that's going to be like most of it. Look, it's only 11 minutes into the stream and we're done with all the things we didn't like. So, what I liked first is that this felt like a movie version of Grant Morrison. And by the way, Brucifer's here. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
So,
Hello.
First off, long time no see, man. It's been a while.
I know. I
Thank
do that.
you.
I literally do like 6 to 7 shows a week now.
Oh God.
Oh,
Man.
oh, boy.
I do too much. Let me ask you this real quick.
Yes.
Negatives of the Superman movie first.
Wasn't long enough.
Okay.
Let's see. I wanted more Metamorpho.
Okay.
I don't think
Me too.
I didn't like Cork Girl screaming. That was
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you feel about the Kryptonians being evil thing?
It's been done before.
It has.
It's been done. It was done in Smallville. It was done during
Someone pointed it out. Yeah.
It's been done over the years multiple times.
At least six times.
You know, and it usually comes up to Clark misunderstands what his father meant. Usually ends with, oh, okay, we weren't supposed to take over Earth. Stuff like that.
Okay. I mean, again, it's like if they retcon that in the later movies, I'll have like, okay, that's fine. They did some stuff. Now, actually, also, just to start with you, what was like the biggest positive of this movie?
Biggest positive for this movie was the chemistry between Corn and
Rosenbarn?
No.
Brosnan.
Brosnan.
Thank you.
Brosnan. That the chemistry between them was just amazing. I've been a fan of both of them ever since I saw her in the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Corn Sweat. I've been a fan of his since I saw him in Hollywood.
With me, it was like, I think I liked is that this movie has my favorite version of Lex Luthor. Like, I'm sorry, that is straight up just comics. Like that, he was menacing as Lex Luthor. Like, oh my god,
I'm going to agree with you with that. This Lex is what a villain is supposed to be.
Yes.
There is no gray area. He is
no pretense.
Evil. No,
very evil.
He will not be
evil
an
for
anti-hero
evil's sake.
next film. But
yeah, exactly.
Next to Clancy Brown, and I don't care no matter nostalgia talking. Next to Clancy Brown, Nicholas Hoult is one of the best Lex Luthor performances. Next to Clancy Brown.
The other thing was Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. I'm like,
he can pull it off.
He was great. My favorite line of his is where he goes, "He probably trusts us because we're also of the cloth."
The cloth.
Oh my god, that's good. And the hypno glass is terrific. How do they work? I love that.
Oh my god, the hypno glass, a throwback to the 70s and 80s.
May I talk about that? Yep, may I bring
go
that one thing the thing I will accept about that is that it was done briefly. We didn't go into detail. That's what made the original version from the 70s so infamous. They went into too much detail about it.
Yeah.
That was the big problem where they had to be, he's not only do we tell them that, we show the people how do they see him, and he looks like a balding fat guy or heavyweight middle-aged guy, and it's like, okay, you guys are going too far with this just so you can excuse Clark being a news journalist now or a TV reporter.
And by the way, Britt is in the chat, so I'm just gonna go ahead and play her intro.
He's back.
And Britt says, Gunn and the Supergirl butted heads on this. Gunn wanted Gillespie did not. So it seems we'll have to address this as a misdirect or something. Yeah, because here's the thing. I have no doubt that they'll like explain or undo the evil Kryptonians thing, because this is the number one like legitimate criticism that I am seeing across Twitter. It's like everyone's like, yeah, the movie's great, but this thing is like, why did you do this?
That is
in other words, they'll be just like, yep.
That is the original sin. Trying to make the Kryptonians conquerors. That is the original sin that is holding this movie back.
And I say, so in other words, it's being just like Smallville. That's the exact same thing. Try to make Jor-El evil, then later they had to be like, people don't like this. Okay.
What was it? The first 4 or 5 seasons, Jor-El was
evil. Yeah. He killed a guy even. He even killed a guy in cold blood.
This is why this is one of the reasons why I don't like that show. I'm just gonna.
That show was amazing.
Say what you will about the CW, but Smallville is a masterpiece.
But it just had problems. Line up.
Well, come on, dude.
And let's not forget that amazing Superman Batman run when they reintroduced Supergirl as Kara. And she was all about being evil and emotional. And
she was mind controlled by Darkseid. Let's be clear on that.
Furry. That was like the best storyline ever.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite Superman and Batman stories. Batman talks down to Darkseid and goes, "Okay,
no, Derek, if you're gonna do the bit, do it right."
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, JJheat.
Omega XL9. That sounds like a bluff to you.
Yeah, it's like Batman basically says, "Release the girl, or we're gonna nuke Apocalypse."
No, Jim. Forsake Kara Zor-El. It's what he said.
Whatever, nerds. Nerds.
If Batman could have, he would have killed her doing that run.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, would not have cared.
Now, the other things that I really liked about this movie is that it seemed very much like a movie version of the Grant Morrison Superman from like the new 52, and that he's going after it's like Superman is like more of a champion of the oppressed in this.
Wait, you're comparing this to Superman Truth?
No, Grant Morrison.
Okay. I
said Grant Morrison, JJheat.
Not Gene Louis Yang.
Then I heard him.
Yep.
But it's like with that, and even the suit, because in the lead up to this movie, I had problems with the suit. I didn't notice it in this movie. I'm like, I'm like, okay, it looked fine. I'm like, all right, there you go.
Now, I want to bring up something Dave brought up. If it's like if Kevin Spacey wasn't stuck playing the Gene Hackman huckster version. Exactly. Because when Kevin Spacey was getting away from the Gene Hackman stuff, like the now fly moment, that nailed it. That's the best way of describing it. What Kevin Spacey should have been doing, not what they gave him.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Okay, so Robert, what's your biggest positive of this movie?
Lois and Clark.
Besides that, because I know that's the obvious answer with you.
You asked me the biggest, I gave you the biggest.
What's the second biggest?
Lex Luthor.
Nerd. Give me something original. We've said this already.
Guy Gardner.
All right, JJheat, what's your
okay. You know, wait. All joking aside, all those were things I love. But I gotta say, the Daily Planet staff in general, I actually want to see more with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be kind of interesting if they did like an office-style workplace comedy with all of the Daily Planet staff.
Oh, you mean Powerless?
But with the Daily Planet staff.
That's what Powerless should have been. Not
Yeah.
You could still have Clark show up and stuff, but it's like that you were set up for that.
Yeah, and I'll just say, Eve Teschmacher actually having a brain in her head to a degree.
Oh my God!
Oh.
She came off as such an airhead. Look, selfies. She saved the whole goddamn planet.
I know, right?
And these weren't accidents.
I did not expect that.
Yeah,
One,
exactly.
she was doing no selfies intentional because she knew no one would take her seriously. And two,
Yep.
why are you stuck with Lex? Oh, I mean, he's horrible. Oh, I know. But I also heard him say that to me about one of his ex-girlfriends being stuck in a pocket universe. It's like, she's not dumb. She knows she's stuck.
Yeah,
I will say this. Being a gay comic book collector and YouTuber, even I can appreciate two big things that caught my eye in this movie, and that is Cat Grant's boobs.
Yeah, I'm like, that's part of her character, so you gotta you can't yeah.
And it's clear this is Secret Origins Cat Grant, where it's, the whole I love working out, just not at the gym.
We're so gonna get demonetized, but I don't care.
Don't worry. I'll just blame Robert. Don't worry about it. But it's the other thing I really go ahead.
I will say this. One of my other favorite. I don't know if you realize the trailer didn't do this movie justice.
No, it
Seeing
did
these
not.
little pieces and scenes, like how many people made fun of that first picture that was put out for the promotion.
Yeah, so many. Practically
But when
everyone.
you see it in the movie and you see the Justice Gang in the background fighting,
that was so good.
oh,
where Guy Gardner's hitting you with a baseball bat.
that was so awesome. He was like, "Don't
Well, they don't explain what that thing is, but thankfully they weren't wasting Solaris. I thought they were.
Thank God.
Yeah,
I think he said it was like a space interdimensional imp or something.
Yeah, so I'm like, is that Mixie? I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, to be fair, it's Mixie, but he's not going after Superman, so he's not showing his true form.
The other thing I really liked is when Hawkgirl takes the lead of Baravia flying, and he's like, "You won't kill me. You're like Superman." She goes, "I'm not like Superman." Just drops him to his. I'm like, oh my God.
Of all characters, she's one that would do it.
Oh my gosh!
And then Guy Gardner killed. Well, not Guy. Mr. Terrific kills the poor kaiju.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He just bombs in its stomach and the blood.
By the way, one thing that I'm still geeking out of because I'm a nerd, Happerson. We have Happerson as one of the people looking for Lex, and he looks just like he did in the comic, mustache and glasses and all.
Yeah.
Yes, Mama Bear, I did make memes.
Except Cameron, it was.
I think I made a meme with
same thing. But
with Superman sitting on
Good to see you, Mama Bear.
Yeah, what's up, Mama Bear? I made
somebody's
one.
lap.
Yeah, I made one of the Superman costume reveal where he's sitting, but I put him in the Twister poster because he was also in Twister's Corn Sweat. So
he was sitting on Drake's lap.
That's great.
Or I did another meme with him sitting on a hotel bed and James Gunn looking at him. I forgot about that. Thanks, Mama Bear, for calling me out.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing, the other thing I really like, I like Guy Gardner going, "Sorry, kid, you got the upgrade," and then the Justice Gang show up and just lay waste to the military.
That surprised me. I thought Superman was going to show up there, but then I see them like, I didn't see this coming.
And Bruce, to your point about how the trailers didn't do this thing justice, the scene where the kid is holding up the flag and chanting Superman, it looked corny in the trailer, but when you see it in context, I'm like, no. That played a role.
Yeah,
exactly. It really did, especially when he has all the guns trained on him.
Yeah, and then I just love Guy Gardner. His constructs are like middle fingers. He just goes, "Yeah, I'm done with you guys."
Yep, and again, now so much of this worked, and the chemistry was Lois and Clark was so good. I bought it. And I bought Lois as the reporter. That interview made it clear. That interview, the full interview, made so much sense. And especially with the whole bit like, oh, that little performance he did, how you were acting like, who said that was a performance? And then it's like, you want me to interview. It's almost like, you want me, someone who's known for hardballing, people, to interview you who's been softballing yourself.
I thought if it would have been if this wouldn't have been Superman and they had that same argument, discussion, interview in another show, I would have been afraid that he would have slapped her.
Actually, according to an interview, Cornswit admits he got so into it with what she was saying that he actually, in character, said "F you."
Which, as a Lois hater, I would have loved that for a deleted scene. Hey, God, put that in the deleted scenes.
Oh, and one other thing I want to say, the whole, with the kid and everything, what I loved about that was, and I'm saying this not to trash Man of Steel or BVS, but it did better what some of those scenes showed about how the world feels about Superman, because it didn't get drenched in the godliness of Superman and focus just entirely on the humanness of how the world sees him.
Not only that, it's because with that movie, with the theme, it's like, because remember, previous to this, the world rejected Superman, and then it's like all of a sudden, no, they need him.
Yeah, and this is reminding people who have been saved by him, especially this nation. A nation, if you recall, Lois was saying, as far as the world sees it, they're just been taken over by a dictator. That's how the world saw it. But they're like, no, we love Superman for saving us.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, real quick, one more, actually, I have two more, like, not really negatives, but still two things that I was like, It's like, I would have liked it more if we instead of it being off screen, if we actually saw him intervene in Baravia. I get why they didn't do it, but still, it's like, it would have had more of an effect, but instead of me hearing it recounted. And second off, since this is kind of like homaging the Superman animated series, it doesn't bother me so much, but how they powered down Superman a little bit and now he's more vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. The other thing I really like is when Metamorpho team tracks the kryptonite. I thought, okay, Superman's gonna heal. No, he had to make a son in order to like regenerate him.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, thank God you're doing this. Thank God you're doing this.
Yep. Also, sorry about the dogs. I gotta say that one other thing I really enjoyed was, well, not really enjoyed, but I always kept noticing, some of these stuff that were leaked, I knew they were so out of context with this, like the monkeys. It made sense here. It made sense here. The stuff with Eve and Jimmy, they weren't sexting. It was just simply these girls are, for some reason, Jimmy is a natural ladies' man to his chagrin, which that's what made it work for me. He's not in it. He's more like embarrassed or like, oh boy, what is it about me?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I've seen the bit before, especially in the Silver Age. In the Silver Age with Superman's pal, this used to happen all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm very nostalgic about this. But Jimmy, you got to take the hit. You got to take one for the team on this one.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a bit of an airhead, but come on, you got to take one for the team.
Exactly.
And I need to say the action scenes in this were spectacular. Like some of the best Superman action scenes I have seen in like forever.
Yep.
Like,
and one other. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I love where he's holding up the kaiju's leg and the dog won't move. So he like super breath blows him away. He goes,
oh, that
leads gonna freeze the dog. I'm like, no.
I was like, no. Which
that's not crypto. But I was gonna say the other thing I loved was they go out of their way to make it clear that people have either been evacuated or they're perfectly fine. They do not leave it ambiguous.
Yeah. Which. They shouldn't have to like explain that so much, but still, the scene where he's holding up the building, it comes down, and then he just hovers above in the air like a badass, and I go, and then it leads to the awesome fight scene where he uses heat vision and then just spins around. I'm like, the minute I saw that fight scene in the trailer, I was like, yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board.
And I also love how you have all the ravens falling down to the ground, and then some of them are getting up, and then others land on top. Like I'm okay.
Yeah, I love that.
I will say this though.
Yeah, go ahead, JJheat.
I will say this. I know it's not going to, when we get to Metamorphose tie-in comic, they're not going to include this, but they actually did have Metamorpho with his kid, and his wife is the daughter and heiress to Stag Industries. So he got put in the pocket dimension because he was screwing Stag's daughter.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not
really
addressed.
Cool.
It's not outright said, but it's heavily implied.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Good catch.
Oh, nice. But
I mean,
also,
the baby was a dead giveaway, so.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that I think this movie does really well is, again, is like going back to the flag scene. That was also really important because it like gets the other heroes off their asses. Because if you notice, it's like when Lois goes to them to like help Superman, they're like, yeah, should we? He could be an alien that's gonna kill us. Then when like on the TV they see the kids hoisting up the flag, and then the theme starts playing, they're like, yeah, we'll go help them.
One last thing, the Mr. Terrific fight.
Oh, that was great.
I did not expect Lois's face. She's like, oh my god.
Yeah, she's like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, how are they gonna get out of this? I'm like, okay.
And the fight choreography. And the fight choreography was just majestic. Like, I could not.
That's the one thing I will give about James Gunn. He knows how to make a good action scene really well. He even did that in Guardians.
One of the big criticisms I've always gotten from people about the character Superman himself is that he's so overpowered. They can't relate to him. But this Superman is so relatable. He's so insecure about how he's perceived by the world and social media. And I know for a fact that I look at my comments when I get negative comments like, crap, I did a bad show. Damn it. They're talking about me. You know, he's the most powerful man on the planet, but he still has insecurities, which makes him more relatable in this movie.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Speaking of casting, I mean, Corn Sweat is a fantastic Superman. Like he freaking, particularly like a younger, more like, I mean, less experienced Superman. Yeah, he freaking nails it. He really
probably
nails
not the best. Probably not the best Clark Kent. Probably not the best Clark Kent adaptation ever, but a decent balance.
But he's not really Clark Kent that long in the movie. He's like
that's another criticism. Not enough Clark.
But it's like a 2-hour movie, Robert. How much could they do in this time period?
True. True.
Be kind of a balance.
Also, Monpaw, I really liked.
Did you think when Jimmy went to meet Tessmacher and he passed all the hookers and the bad part of Metropolis?
I was like,
that was
what?
a foreshadow what Gotham could be like in this DCU?
Yes.
All I thought was, oh, that's Suicide Slum, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Necron.
Brucifer is bringing his fans. I really appreciate that. But yeah, that's actually a good point, Brucifer. With that, I never thought of that. Yeah, if that's because that's kind of Gotham-y in that sense, and it's like when they're in that alley, I could so see Batman doing a fight scene in this alley. That would so work.
You know, it would have been funny if they would have had Damian Wayne drop down and kick Jimmy's ass. He was a criminal. Exactly.
It's like that's the other thing, and I'm gonna be clear on this again. It's like going to this movie. I wasn't like. Let me be clear. I was apprehensive, not necessarily because it's like I thought it was gonna be horrible, because I had moderately confident I think James Gunn could do it. It's just I've been burned too many times by WB. Now, if this is an indication of like the quality that we're gonna expect from like DC going forward, I think we'll be fine.
Now to answer a few questions back, just right quick.
Go ahead.
I don't see Justice League International, at least not within Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. But I definitely see Terrifics with Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Plastic Man debuting in the actual Terrifics movie, and then maybe Hawk Girl be replacing present day Phantom Girl as the fourth member.
Hmm.
Terrific.
The Terrifics.
Yeah, because
with me, I think this is basically the makings of the Justice League. In other words, the League is going to be Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and then these three. Four now. So
I think
that'd be kind of the League.
I think it's going to be the original Justice League stuff, but with Kendra instead of Shiera in the Hawk Girl role.
Yeah, I would say that. That kind of works.
Like we'll get a Martian Manhunter eventually.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, that was that like guy, the alien that was like driving Lex's cart, a white Martian.
I think.
Am I the only one that thought that?
Yeah. I think it was a white Martian.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Wait, is no one else seeing this?
I was like, is that what I think it is?
Maybe,
one thing I will say,
maybe McGann.
There was there was a lot of comedy in this, a lot of jokes, but it wasn't the same amount of jokes you would get in any of his Guardians movies.
Or
not really. There were some dramatic scenes that I thought were kind of undercut by it, but this was remarkably balanced. This was more balanced than I expected it to be.
What about the post-credit scene? That felt like a deleted scene, but what I like was it just gave us more character stuff that was separated from the rest of the movie.
Now, in terms of Kara showing up at the end, I'm like, I hate that her identity now has become drunk party girl. Woo! But I get it.
She's a woo girl now.
I don't like her calling Superman a bitch. I gotta be honest about that. I'm like, no.
But think of it this way. Say what you will about Krypton's destruction, her being preserved and preserved for 40 years. Or 25, I should say, because Superman's in his early 30s. But yeah, she still has the mindset of a teenager. So of course she's gonna act that way.
JJheat Plays, don't be defending Tom King on my stream, please.
Hey, no, I wouldn't be.
I'm gonna have to do it too. Defend King too. Just saying.
As long as you're not defending King's Wonder Woman, I'm fine, Brucifer. Okay.
Honestly, there's really nothing good about that run. It falls off.
I will say this. I don't know if you guys are reading Absolute Superman.
Yes,
it is solid.
Being revealed that he was awake the whole goddamn time, and that's why he has PTSD and he's so messed up in the head was like crazy.
He was conscious the entire flight. In most versions, he was
like, what?
Yeah,
like that would drive anyone kind of crazy, and no wonder he's darker. That really worked. It's like so yeah. It's like, do I not like that? But does Kara's suit look good? Yes.
Yeah.
From what we saw, it looks like the Kara suit.
Including the jacket, lift straight off the comic.
Yep, and Lobo looks fantastic from what we've seen.
Yeah.
If they nail Kara from Woman of Tomorrow like that, imagine how they're going to nail Lobo in this.
Yeah.
Which, fun fact, Tom King did in the original pitch for Woman of Tomorrow, he wanted Lobo in, but editorial wouldn't let him do it.
Yeah.
That sounds like Brittany Halsinger. No, that sounds like her.
Wait. But she usually lets him get away with it.
No, but he said that I think he directly identified it was Brittany that told him to use a different character.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, it sounds like. Dave says, do you think this film will connect with Gen Z? It's already doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's the other thing. It's like with the box office, it's like this. I think that like put it this way, I think this movie's gonna make around the amount that Matt Reeves, the Batman, makes. Even if it makes slightly less than that, they could say, hey, we have all this positive like discourse around the movie. We took a slight hit with this. The next movie, if we continue with this quality, we'll get to that benchmark.
And Millie Alcock, she already has a huge built-in fan base from
House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon.
Mm-hmm. People didn't want her to be aged up. They wanted her to stay the same age and let Millie continue to roll. So,
and I think
Supergirl might do better than Superman.
Yeah, I forget the actress who played adult Rhaenyra. I forget her name. She was limited in what she was given as House of the Dragon progresses. But in the Viserys and early episodes, she was a class act. She was practically the star of the show. But yeah, so she definitely has a built-in fan base, a lot of momentum going to Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. The only way you could really screw up the story is if you try to remove the true grit aspects. Because for all intents and purposes, Woman of Tomorrow is a true grit ripoff, but with superheroes. That's really all it boils down to. If you try, go ahead, Robert.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
If you try to downplay that for a PG-13 audience and you completely sanitize it, you completely lose the overall moral of the story, because it's more than just Kara being a party girl or drinking on a red sun planet to mask her pain. It's more than that. At least in the original story, she does it explicitly for her 21st birthday, and then she ends up helping this young misguided girl, or at least in the pursuit of confronting crime. And then it becomes a coming of age story for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see them in the attempt to turn down the revenge aspect. They try to focus it more on Kara's partying and trauma, which I kind of don't want them to do, because you completely miss the point of the story if you do that.
Right. I got two things to say. One, to Tevia's question that he just asked. You know what I kind of realized? I think this is going to both help Fantastic Four, because it's getting people in a more positive comic book movie mindset. But I think both movies are going to benefit each other because of their similar tone and their shorter run times. I think we're going to get things shooting up with Fantastic for Superman when Fantastic Four comes out, and do well for Fantastic Four.
It'll be symbiotic. They'll make roughly the same numbers, but at the very least, it'll be a symbiotic movie. Box office.
They're both family films. They're both family-friendly films.
Yep, exactly. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think there's going to be a rivalry as much as people think.
No. Especially since Fantastic Four is going to have a darker ending if the Tease and Thunderbolts was anything to go by. Yep. So completely different vibe.
And then my other thing was, I've actually been looking back at a lot of the complaints people have about the trailer, and everything. And it's funny how and I'm talking about the trailer, not leaks, the trailers. And it's funny how so much of those were resolved during this. Again, we mentioned Tessmacher and everything. The whole, what are you doing? Laying around.
Why you taking a selfie?
Why is she taking a selfie? Well, you know why. What are you doing living around? I'm not laying around doing important stuff. The timing made that actually work.
One thing I did
one at a time, gentlemen.
No, I'm just saying that. But when you look at so many of the complaints for the trailers, so many of them were actually resolved when given context.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Christopher.
One thing I would like to say is I loved how people that lived in Metropolis and the Daily Planet staff, they weren't worried about a kaiju doing anything. Superman is here. They didn't have to really worry about stuff like that. They just kept on with their normal day.
And we're in a world where superheroes have existed for 300 years. So it's at this point, it's just a regular Tuesday. And the other thing is, they even help Superman up when he's, thrown to the ground. So I'm like,
that was the moment that sold me on Lex, was when the Russian roulette scene.
Oh, that's what I'm like. Yeah, that you are cold-hearted SOB, sir.
All because Superman ate with something at his place, and then he helped Superman up.
And when Luthor gets petty, he's notoriously petty.
Although then he said, when he said that in that reporter interviewed you, I thought he was talking about Lois and Clark Kent. That got a chuckle in the theater. They're like,
in the trailer, they cut to Lois, so it's like, oh, wait a minute, and then it's like, oh, he's just gonna kill Clark Kent. Well,
good luck finding him.
You're gonna be looking for Clark for a long time.
That got a good chuckle, and after the movie was done, I turned back to the handful because it was early morning, so it obviously wasn't going to be sold out. And I said, "Did you guys like that?" They went, "Boo!" Yeah, they loved it. These were comic fans, you could tell.
Superman versus Ultraman, oh my god, that was dope.
I hate. Okay, we're in spoiler territory now. I hate they kind of just wrote him off. I hate they kind of wrote him off into the black hole at the end, because you had
him back as Bizarro or actual Ultraman.
I mean, but the point of Bizarro is the fact that he deteriorates over time, not that he gets thrown into a wormhole, comes back as the
but who else was born in a wormhole that was through genetic material? Hell,
that is true. That is true.
But and we also know that these pocket universe can be lead into other universes. What if he ends up on Earth 3? Ultraman finds him and be like, "Who gave you my name?"
Yeah, exactly. But it's like I liked where like Lex was like going the 34F, and he's like basically controlling him like it's injustice.
Yep. Oh, blue ass right in the balls.
Yeah, well, that's the only part where I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's kind of obvious.
But it's like I really dug the again the whole when Ultraman is blasting his heat vision into Superman's eyes. I go, what the Homelander?
Oh, by the way, did you see that bit of a guy dressed as Homelander at one of the premieres?
Yeah.
And then Anthony Starr said,
funny.
people should dress as the rivals at movies.
People go as like the Void and the Sentry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one theory I had about
Yeah.
the whole Ultraman and the black hole thing was he does end up on Earth 3, but he becomes smarter and forms the crime syndicate and comes back.
That could work too.
I would love to
I
see
thought. That's what I thought. And
I don't think
can
he's
you imagine
dead.
Can you imagine if the Justice League movie is forever evil?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, dude. Imagine if it's just the crime syndicate invades and they need to get the also the villains on their side in order to fight the crime syndicate.
And to answer Cameron's question, Engineer is an authority character, but it felt like it could have been Mercy.
You easily could attack Mercy on here.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It's like while it's an advantage that we're jumping into a universe already established, it kind of felt like the Engineer was just there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was a kind of a backdoor pilot character to pitch the Authority, which is likely going to get rebranded as an animated series or animated movie on HBO Max, which has recently rebranded, by the way. So I'm not wrong in saying
I saw that. Yeah, but it's like, but on that, I did also like how her powers worked, like when she was enveloping Superman.
Or Crypto even.
Or Crypto even. I'm like,
like,
oh my
Crypto.
God. Yeah, Crypto took a beating in this movie.
Yep. By the way, NJ, I say they're on par in their own ways.
Earbard is
Lex is more conniving. Dawn is more pet psychopathy.
He's trollish. He's more of an evil killer troll.
Yeah, exactly. And Authority is probably going to be turned into an animated project.
More than likely.
Yeah. But we do know anyone who gets selected as the voice actors will also be the live action actors.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So
synergy all around. Synergy all around. But
yeah, exactly.
Crypto being Supergirl's dog confused, it makes more sense that way because it doesn't contradict Clark's origin. Crypto could have came with Kara, and then Clark. That's kind of the one running joke in this movie. Clark was technically dog sitting Crypto the entire time.
Well, the other thing is that it does.
Oh, sorry. I said, are you guys reading the Crypto series?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
It's good. And I say okay, mind if I spoil the last page for you? He lands on Earth, and a young, still-haired Lex Luthor finds him.
That's kind of cool. But it's like with that, it's like, here's the thing. Him being Kara's dog in this also explains why he's so unruly. So it's like, that's why they did it. So I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of works. I love where he's like jumping on Kara and it's causing like dents and like cracks.
But she's loving it.
Yeah, I love that.
Now, is it because she's drunk or she just always letting him do that, even period?
I think
a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Yep. But yeah, I do like though how if they had one shot of utilizing businessman Lex, much like Birthright, they used it well and ended it spectacularly. Now we can lead to mad scientist Lex.
That was the other thing that I'm kind of mixed on is when Lex is giving his big speech and then Crypto just thrashes him about like he's smoking Loki.
That got me a little. I was like, oh, really? I will say the Galileo statement that got me. I'm like, that's fresh. Basically, like he's been given this genius intellect, but there is nothing so far for his intellect to do that can place him on the level of Galileo. And when people compare it to him, it's like You don't know what you're talking about when you do that. I have yet to do anything comparable to Galileo. And now with Superman around, I never can.
And it's like, so it's yeah, exactly. And Cameron, I don't think they're gonna make the Kryptonians evil in the comics. First off, it's too like late for
It's
them
been
to
done.
do that. And
It's been
second
done.
off, it's like that's one thing that even DC, I get the feeling even James Gunn knows. Yeah, this is gonna be controversial.
It was in poor
Mhm.
taste. I get you wanted to make it to where blood ties don't matter. It's your found family and the people you care and truly are in your life that matter. I get what he was trying to do, but making the Kryptonians evil just so you would have a precedent for them to briefly reject Superman for the second act. One, you already have elements of Superman versus the Elite in here. Just have them say, hey, Clark is part of the old Vanguard. He's too soft. Sometimes you need to unalive enemies. You had it right there. You didn't need the rating in the Fortress of Solitude. You really didn't need it.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, I was like, people don't seem to even care anymore about it.
Yeah. How about John Kent's speech to his son where he goes, it's all about, you get to determine the person you're supposed to be. Parents are just supposed to give you the tools. What you do with them makes you the person you are.
I love that.
That was great.
It's very.
That was Paul Kent. That was Jonathan that I wanted for so long. That's the best Jonathan we've had since the Reeve movie.
And I'm going to compare this to Man of Steel a little bit because that's kind of what he was saying when he shows them the ship and goes, look, it's going to be your choice. You're going to determine the man you're going to be.
It was
initially
poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have this, Robert. It was executed poorly in Man of Steel because on a surface level, it was like Paul was trying to do everything in his power to prevent Clark from revealing himself if he could avoid it. Which, if you're taking a realistic, grounded approach, okay, it's good to be precautious. But when lives are in danger, including your own, and you're in a small town, I don't think no one would have said anything. They would have been grateful to have gotten out of that twister alive. No one was going to say anything.
Well,
are you guys reading Mark Waid's Action Comics?
I have. It's pretty much that.
Do you think this is them giving us the early years of this DCU Superman in action?
Possibly.
Possibly. I gotta say, one thing I love about the artwork is that the shorts actually look like shorts.
Yeah.
He hasn't grown into them. Like he hasn't grown into them. It looks like, he hasn't grown into them yet.
Yeah, which I'm like, okay, that's good. And Brisbane, that's actually a good point because if that's, I'm like, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, because we really haven't gotten a good Superboy story in forever since Superboy Prime.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what? I just realized something. I just got an idea of what I would do for if I was to do my own Superman, but do the Superboy stuff. Have it be eventually the town does find out, but similar to in Rom Space Knight, when Claritin found out about the dire raid, they eventually started helping, covering for him. And if anyone from out of town showed up and realized it, they'll be like, what are you talking about? We have no idea what you're talking about. And it'll be the town's secret the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That's something.
That's an easy fix.
Yeah, but that's something that I would have done in with Small, but no one has really done before.
Yeah, Cameron says a lot like American Alien did Smallville would definitely have protection. Yeah, exactly. And then Tevia says, speaking of the engineer, that reminds me, did she get arrested at the end of the movie? Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Assume she did, but he's going to Bell Rev and Britt pointed this out to me last night. He's going to the same prison as.
Yep.
Because remember, Creature Commandos happened in this. Man, am I glad I completed Creature Commandos before this.
Yep.
And Joseph Santos is after my own heart. James Gunn proved every Lois Lane is useless.
Wait, no, we talked about her.
Oh my God. Yeah.
We talked about her.
Yeah, Rachel. Okay, seriously. Rachel really, like I said, this is the best Lois. Second, on par with Diane Delaney from the anime series.
Okay. I know I made a comparison to Clancy Brown, but don't you think we're reaching a bar just a little bit?
No. This was my favorite live action Lois. Period. And I'll say this: I thought Amy was gorgeous. I did not get a Lois vibe from her. I hate to say this, well, I did feel there was chemistry with her and Henry. It felt so, except for when she found his identity, everything else afterward felt like generic love interests. This.
The line that I think sold me on her as Lois is when the like warlord goes, they didn't say anything about sending a woman. He goes, I'm not a woman, I'm a journalist.
Okay, that kind of got it, but for the majority of it, I did not get that Lois vibe like I did with Rachel here.
Yeah, literally, Joseph Rob's the only one. She's Joseph. Oh my God.
Okay, JJheat, Lucifer, your takes.
No, don't try and control my show. Lane lover.
Listen, as being
Go ahead.
being on a milk carton myself on another show I was on because they put me on a carton and I'm in the intro now. I love Lois Lane. I am a Clark Lois guy. I will always be a Clark Lois guy. No disrespect to the host.
It's the template. It's the template.
She is the best Lois Lane we've ever had.
I'll agree.
And I love the Lois on Superman and Lois. I love Lois on Smallville. I loved the original Lois, but she just has that. I don't know what it is. She just has that
fire to it.
I know what it is. I want to say it. She has that I'm that bitch energy.
Yep.
Like.
Yep.
I would kind of say this. Max says Lois is the definition of generic love interest. And NJ, technically, yes, because Rick Flag Sr. is in this movie. So technically, yeah. But Peacemaker was technically not in Creature Commandos except for being like brutally murdered. Which, there you go. But Cameron says, what I also love about this movie, Gunn did not go crazy with the Easter eggs and cameos like the MCU villains. Yeah, he still had it in there, but it was organic because the temptation is always there because I get it. You love comics and you want to put so much crap in there so everyone can go, look at all this. But at a certain point, it gets kind of distracting.
Exactly. It does get kind of distracting. But yeah, overall, some of the cameos or some of the setups were just there because I think he also doesn't want to be the one who introduces something that's going to then be like, someone's going to be like, hey, wait, we were going to do something. Let other directors do it.
But Cameron also said, so anyone else think we were going to see Waller, at least one of those black women were going to be her? Like I was expecting Lex to say to Flag, your boss agrees with me or something. That would have been kind of cool if like
it would have been tacked on.
Reference Amanda Waller.
It would have been a little. It would have been a little tacked on, but still cool.
And then Tevye.
I will say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Unlike most MCU movies, well, 99%, this was a complete movie. It didn't feel like this was a setup for the next movie. Project. And I want to go out on a limb with this one, right, guys? This movie gave you a beginning, middle, and end. Even the after credit scenes, which just like referred back to the movie itself. It didn't set up anything else hardly. What if the next time we see Superman in his own movie, it's a decade later? He's more mature, he's more confident, and we have John. They already have a son, John Kent, which will go into Brave and the Bold because Damien will be the same age as John Kent, and then we can get Super Sons.
And no one will go see it. But anyway, it's
Sir, you have risked Pandora's box. Let me go ahead.
Don't tempt Tevye. But it's like the way I highly doubt I think that the next time we'll see him because according to what said, he's contracted for another Superman sequel. But I feel like the next time we see him will be in like a World's Finest, Trinity, or a Justice League movie at some point. Because not doing a Trinity movie is just leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
It's too soon because Batman versus Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice, tried to be a Batman movie, a Superman sequel,
Well,
a Trinity movie.
I'm not
All
saying do that like. I'm not saying do that as like movie 2 or anything like that. I'm saying obviously have them have their own movies, but then do a Trinity movie, and maybe that leads into a JLA movie.
Right. By the way, sorry.
I get what you're saying, but I would say if you are going to do a Superman sequel, I would save it for Chapter 2. If you're not going to do it before Justice League, I would just save it before Chapter 2.
An interesting idea could be to start every chapter with a Superman movie, like he starts every chapter.
Yeah. By the way, NJ, not true. Not true.
There was a rumor that Constantine and Dr. Fate run. No, because the Hall of Justice is still being completed. It's not like it's like done.
Yeah.
By the way, one thing I do like, to going to Tebia's question, that cameo, that's technically one of the few times we'll see DCU Peacemakers into the set before season 2 starts.
Yeah, and we all and we know that at some point DCEU Peacemaker is going to cross over and replace DCU Peacemaker. So there you go.
Yep, Max Lord's one appearance. I think one thing conservatives and liberals can all agree on: Lex Luthor sucks. that felt like such a thing JLI Max Lord modernized would say.
And I need to say, if they do a JLI movie, or at least have Guy Gardner and Batman in a room together, Batman cannot not punch Guy Gardner in the face.
It's gonna happen.
You need to do that.
No, that's gonna happen in Justice League. I can confirm that right now.
It's like they almost did that. I was almost like, okay, are they gonna do that? That was Superman, where Guy goes, make a move, Big Blue.
Mm-hmm. And Cameron, that was Max. Could they say right on the news ticker? Yeah, Max Lord.
The reason I said
yeah.
The reason I say Terrifics is more likely, at least for Chapter 1, is because you already set up the idea of Mr. Terrific leaving Lore Tech and branching out. That way he's not tied to like optics or corporate synergy, to where he's actually branching out on his own and making his own pseudo-hero team. And then you could say Justice League International for Chapter 2 after both Hawkgirl and Guy get disillusioned.
Mm-hmm. But, also, here's a question for you guys. What actress could you see play Ice, keeping in mind you need someone that would have good chemistry with Fillion?
Morena Baccarin.
Who's that?
She could pull it up. She could pull
and
it off.
Nara from Firefly.
And, right.
And Copycat from Deadpool.
Oh, definitely.
If you see Firefly, you know those two already have chemistry together.
Yep, but could you see her as innocent Tora?
And by the way, Tavia, Angelina Jolie is too old to play that.
Especially not Tora.
I think he was trying to go for Fire. Angelina Jolie is Fire.
No, but we were talking about Ice, but still.
Okay.
But it's like I see what you. But thing is, like, would Angelina Jolie have chemistry with Nathan Fillion though?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So you need that.
Yep, but yeah, the Bat Family. And I'm glad they didn't leave any Batman Easter eggs anywhere in here. I am glad they didn't do that.
There was the highway Gotham. There was the highway board sign for Gotham next in 3 miles. There was that.
But that's fine. But it's not like there was like bats on the logo or something like that or something.
Or even saying, or there wasn't a news ticker saying, "Oh, Batman spotted" or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm like, yeah, just keep it like focused on it was really focused on the heroes in Metropolis. By the way, Christopher Reeve's son cameo as the news anchor reporting on the kaiju attack. I'm like, yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Love that.
The other thing I'm gonna say is I know that I've been like every Superman should have their own theme, but this movie did a great job of modernizing the Superman like 78 theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like it can feel like a nostalgia trip in places, but it's not a cumbersome one like Superman Returns was.
I gotta say, I think Mark. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because here's the thing, JJheat. At least the difference between this and Superman Returns just copied it. This one actually adapted it.
Yep. And I gotta say, I think Mark Waid put it best when he was on my show, saying how they took it and redid their own take on it, as opposed to just, like you said, just using it.
Yeah, that's why it didn't bother me as much as it did with Superman Returns. I was like, I know why you're doing it, but you know what? You made it
Your own.
new, in other words.
They made it their own.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm fine with that. But overall, again, I give this movie a solid 7 out of 10. I think it's a good introduction to this. I'm gonna go. The reason why you say 7 out of 10 is again the whole evil Kryptonians thing. But again, if that changes, it'll bump up to like probably an 8. Robert, how about you?
I give this an 8.9 out of 10 for me because it's my favorite Superman. Actually, there's one factor. Can I go into a little bit quickly that I wanted to say?
Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, I never had the opportunity to bring it up.
Yeah.
Here's something I look at when it comes to the different movies. When it comes to Reeves, it was about proving it could be done, proving comic book movies, especially Superman, can be done and taken seriously. The Returns we don't talk about. Returns was trying to recapture that and failing. But then Man of Steel and the Snyderverse were trying to show, can we make it grounded and acceptable? And mostly, arguably, it succeeded. Arguably. But when it comes to this, it was to show, can you make it comic booky and accepted? And I think it was a success.
And I gotta say this is the other thing I'm gonna give this movie props for. And you know what? I'll bump it up to a 7.5. It's the fact that at no point did I really feel like the comic booky stuff would go over someone's head. It's like I took my normie family to this, even they enjoyed it. It's like the way the fact that we're getting such a positive general audience reaction to this movie proves me that he did the comic booky heavily like fantastical way, in a way that it was palatable to people that don't read comic books. Something like that where it's
exactly.
How about you, Bruce? For how you rated out of 10?
A 10 out of 10 for me because this gave me watching this movie put a smile on my face like the first time I saw Christopher Reeve as Superman. And James Gunn wasn't afraid to add the sci-fi, the fantastical, the elements that make a comic book a comic book. You got it all in this. And it's just been so long, so many misses with Marvel over the years. So it was just like the start of something that can be really good. And it's like I'm a Yankees fan. It's like the Yankees are up 10-1. It's James Gunn's game to lose.
Now, I will say this. Now, objectively speaking, because I did plan a review and commentary on the movie side, especially with certain individuals, I would give this a 7. That's my main line. But it's not just the evil, the Kryptonian being conquerors thing. That's the biggest critique. But I'm not gonna make it a 7 purely over that. I just feel like this is not going to make $1 billion. This is not going to be the high-wrenching success Zaslav wants it to be. It's just not. But as the universe starter to build a foundation and momentum for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, it does what it's supposed to do. Like you pretty much you can only compare it to Iron Man 08.
It starts the universe right.
Yeah, it does what it's supposed to do. Now, is it going to reach probably 750 to 800 million? Likely, probably not. Yeah. But at bare minimum, I would say $700 million bare minimum with its current momentum. Yeah,
exactly. I'll give you that. Now, I think that's a good place to leave it. Brucifer, don't be a stranger. I mean, we haven't talked in so long, man.
I'm always here. It's nice to be on a panel where you can talk comic books and you don't have to have the panel start Googling and looking up or saying, we're talking about comic book movies. We don't need to read comic books.
So in other words, you feel like you're a pro among noobs?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel welcomed around fellow nerds.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Pleasure.
NJ, one more comment. Do you think nerfing him more in comics and films is a way to increase his relatability and popularity? No, it's like so you can give him more challenges and stuff. And I mean, they've vacillated in his power level all the time in the comics, even and even the movies.
Down.
So it's like that's why him being noticeably weaker in this didn't really bother me. So I'm like,
he was strong enough. He was strong enough.
He's still Superman. As long as he still does the basic stuff Superman should do, yeah, I'm fine with that. But so I think that's a good place to leave it. So so Robert, where can we find you and what have you got coming on your channel?
You can check out my link down below. My review of Superman posted right before the stream started. You could also check out my Pro Teachers Noobs. The standout so far has been both Jared and I are going to be going over One More Day in a couple of videos. Also, I know, hey, we both suffered through it. And Britt and I have been going over through Peter David's Supergirl, which she has been loving.
And JJheat, how about you?
As for me, you can find me on JJheat Plays or JJheat75. I have recently started both a replay through of the Gotham Knights video game and Telltale Walking Dead playthroughs. I also do videos, movies, comics. I even got an Ironheart review in the future. Lord knows that's gonna. I went through multiple that one, but yeah, just great content all around. It was a pleasure again, Brucifer. Pleasure to meet you. Hope you.
Thank you.
In the future.
Same here.
And I enjoyed us being here. So thanks for having me.
Brucifer, how about you? Where can one find you and what have you got coming on your channel?
You can find me on Kingdom of Nerds. Monday is Monday Madness is the speculation, rumors, movie talk side of things, which I'm starting to hate more because people are stupid. Then either Tuesday night or Wednesday, I will drop a video called Wednesday Wonders. It's my favorite picks for New Comic Book Day.
Okay.
Then Friday, I have Off the Shelf. I call it my virtual LCS hangout. Since a lot of people can't get to a local comic book store and meet other nerds and talk comics. So we talk comics, and then every week we play Jeopardy. And I give away prizes and giveaways. And then Sunday is the other comic book show where I go over FOC, go over the best covers, flaming covers of the week, and blah, 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 nerd stuff.
Hell yeah, man. You do get great content, my friend. As for me, tomorrow we're going to be talking about Justice League Ruby on movie night. That's a Robert pick.
Oh my God.
The week after that, we're going to be doing Superman versus the Elite. I'm going to pick that. And Britt and I are going to be talking about how the Wonder Woman animated, how the Flashpoint animated movie just butchered that Wonder Woman story because the comics are nothing like that movie. Like what a difference, Brucifer, when I'm reading, because I read the comics after watching the movie, then I would see this, I'm like, what happened?
Oh, the comics were so good. Aquaman sunk Europe.
Yeah, I'm like, jeez. So
Aquaman was badass.
So we'll talk about that. And then on Sunday, I'm going to do my Amazon Answers where I do a Q&A about Brian Azzarello's Wonder Woman run for the New 52. And yeah, so that's where I'm going to leave it. Stay heroic, everyone. And this is for both Brucifer and Robert. Lois Lane is Lois Lame. She belongs to General Zod, Zois, and Max of Afterlife. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.